The Bamboo Project Podcast starts in 3, 2.
Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. My name is DonivanGray, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided that I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself. And not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting my journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is DonivanGray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. We made different playlists for all the things we are into, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else who's already been here, this is chapter 4, page 182. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is Friday, September 15th, and it is 11:43 a.m. All right. So before we get into the topics of the day, we always start off with screen time. That is with me and my beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend. Check our phone and we see how much time we have given to it last week. And I'm actually curious for myself how my last week has gone. So let's check it out. Okay, so last week, every day I spent an average of 7 hours and 47 minutes on my phone each day, and my lowest usage day was Friday and Saturday, which was extremely low. That's kind of crazy that it was so low. It was 4 hours and 56 minutes, and then it was 4 hours and 33 minutes. What was Friday? Did I edit the vlog on Friday? I did fake edit on Friday, and then I don't know what happened Saturday. I just had the craft fair because on Sunday I was on my phone for 8 hours, so I don't it's very different than Saturday. So my most used app last week was X, which is Pornhub/Twitter. Then YouTube X was 11 hours and 43 minutes. Then it was YouTube for 9 hours and 20 minutes. And then that camera for 7 hours and 6 minutes. Instagram is down to 1, 2, 3, 4 to number 5 on the list. That's great. I picked up my phone on average, on average 98 times per day, which is less than 100. That's amazing. My first used app after pickup was Mail, then Square, then Instagram. All right, baby girl, what was your screen time like last week?
So last week on average I spent 5 hours and 39 minutes on my phone, which is down 29% from the week before. I spent 10 hours on Instagram, 5 hours on Gmail, 4 hours on messages, 3.5 hours on TikTok. What else? I pick up my phone on average 151 times per day. My first use app after pickup is Gmail, then messages, then Instagram, then music.
So my highest usage day was Tuesday, which was Instagram for 2 hours. That's kind of crazy. What was I doing on Instagram for 2 hours and 10 minutes? Let me see. What time of the day is this? 6 a.m. Oh, that makes sense. I can see that. Yeah, most of my screen time is in the morning between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. Then it goes down for the rest of the day. Yeah. Most of my screen time is literally in the morning, like very early in the morning. I'll be on my phone. That's interesting. So if I'm not on my phone, what I do is I'll get up and get on my phone immediately. I'm on my phone. I'll wake up at maybe like 5 o'clock and I'll be on my phone till like 8. That's 3 hours of just phone time. And I'm like, if my average for the day is 7 hours, that means that for the other, I could reduce that by like 2 or 3 hours by not being on my phone in the morning.
Where do you see what time you're on your phone?
What's your most usage? What's time of the day to use your phone the most?
All day. Seems like. But it's interesting. It's like, yeah, I use my phone all day, but I don't use it for a long period of time.
So for the subscriber check on the Candle channel, we are currently at 541 subscribers, and on our main channel we are at they changed it. That's stupid. We are at 6,608 total subscribers. All right, guys. Right, let's get into the podcast this week. We had some good podcasts. This is like the third one. 2 in a row we had was a lot of fun. This one's gonna be a fun one. Oh man. All right. So guys, it is official. It is official. We did not think we would be here where we are at right now. I said it before, we did not see ourselves being here. Okay. We had planned to do, honestly, if we're being completely honest, we had planned to be doing Artisan Fleas Williamsburg every weekend for the whole year, right? We had also planned to be doing, by this time, Artisan Fleas Chelsea, which is the 7-day one, every single week until the rest of the year. The plan was for us to be doing that by like June. And I mean in the beginning of the year. That was a plan, right? So I'm not even sure where to really begin this story. I guess, I'll tell you about the Artisan Flea situation. We were on a membership every single month, right? In the beginning of the month, we had to pay all of it up front. Oh man. And over the last couple of weeks or months, actually, I'm gonna give you a number because I haven't looked at this. So I want to see how much we've been making at Williamsburg every single month for the last 8 or 9 months. So in August of 2023, we did $3,935 at Artisan Fleas, right? In July, we did $3,411 at Artisan Fleas. In June, we did $4,745 at Artisan Fleas. In May, we did $4,964 at Artisan Fleas. In April, we did $4,790 in Artisan Fleas. In March, we did $3,969. And then in February, we did $5,689. And then in January, we did $5,155. All of that totals up to $36,658 for Artisan Fleas. Now, beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend.
Okay.
Do you remember when we started the membership? In March. It's every 4 months, right? So if we go backwards right now into October, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. And we only did 2. We did 2?
Yeah.
We did 2 before. This is our third one we're in.
This is our second one we're in.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So, as y'all can tell, right? Because here's the crazy part. This is how crazy this would be if this is really the case. Because, my chest hurts. I want to swing at everything. We were doing over $5,000 a month. It did it in January and in February in Williamsburg, right? The month that we got the membership in March, we dropped from $5,600 to $3,900. And then from there, we never crossed $5,000. We were close in May, and we never crossed it again for the rest of the year. Not one time did we cross it, right? Now, one thing that happened when we got the membership is they moved us from a good location to an awful location. They put us back into Siberia, in the middle of nowhere, in this little tiny eensy beensy little spot, right? It seems that could have affected our sales. I can't see January being busier. January and February being busier than all the other months. I can't see that being a thing.
I think it was though.
Was it really though, or were we just in a better spot?
I think it was busier.
I feel like you sure?
I do.
Why do you think it was busier?
Because I felt like we didn't have the same issue that we kind of have where it's like, oh wow, like it's really slow in here. I don't think it was that slow. Because I remember thinking like, oh, it's supposed to drop off, and it didn't really. It didn't really get slow until March.
Let me see. Where's
I think it was still Valentine's Day. and stuff like that people were still shopping for.
So let's see. In 2023, sales wise, well, I mean, we were doing smaller candle sales, but even with that, we still were doing a lot. Yeah, we were doing like 30 sales a day, like pretty consistently. Like pretty consistently, we were doing like 20 something sales per day. I'm gonna do the average of sale amount from then until we started doing the 7-ounce candles. Okay, so on average, we did 2,000 sales in that time period. On average, we had 22 sales per day before we added the 7-ounce candles. Okay, so from July 1st to now, we averaged 11 sales a day.
That's crazy. I heard 11 sales. That's crazy.
You heard we averaged before?
30.
22.
20. So yeah, it's like half.
It's half the amount of sales. Huh?
Double our prices, so we're still alive.
Right, exactly. So yes, we pretty much halved. We were doing half the amount of sales per day, per weekend or whatever. So that just gives an idea of kind of what we experienced. We are paying $1,400 to $1,700 per month to be there, right? And if our sales got cut in half, or our sale transaction amount got cut in half, then it's kind of like it's a lot harder to afford to pay them the full amount at the beginning of the month, right? Significantly harder. So we had told them like, hey, we're not going to be able to cover this amount this month on like at the beginning of the month. However, we can do it by the 18th. We can have it by the 18th, give you half, and the rest by the 31st, you'll have the full amount. They weren't rocking with that, right? So we said, you know what? Fine. If that's how y'all want to treat us, that's how you guys feel about the business you guys are running, we're going to do what's best for us. We're going to come and sell at the fair as many times as we can until we are pretty much told we have to leave. So we did that. We got to go one more time to sell at the market. We had a decent weekend. And then the following week, they sent us an email saying that they terminated our membership. And it's kind of like, and they also said in that email that they will be removing all of our stuff if we don't do it ourselves. And it's kind of like, sure. It's like at that point, it is what it is. I think, I don't know who they have running it. There's a person, there's Michelle, there's a Claire, and then there's like a Talia. And who we ran into at the market the day we had to go to pick up our stuff, I think I'm going too far ahead. So we were thinking to ourselves, you know what? We'll just try and continue to go as many times as we can until we got that email. Once we got the email, we were like, all right, that's it. We have to move on to a different path. We have to pivot because Artisan Fleas no longer is going to work for us. We would have had to borrow the money again to pay for us to do that fair. And I'm going to get to borrowing money in a little bit. So, maybe Thursday comes, Melissa and I get ready. We take our cart out there. We go and pack up everything from the fair. The cloud wall is gone. The sign is gone. The table is gone. Everything is gone. Space looks, as good as it did, I guess, when we got it the first time. So, we get there, right? And there's some weird energy going on. Now, Melissa and I believe that we have a couple of theories, right? One of the theories is we think that they see how much money we make from the fair and they just assume that we have a lot of money. I think we might be one of the younger people there, and I think that can cause resentment amongst older people and younger people who are not making that amount of money. So the people we interact with the most in terms of who we see would be like the social media people. They're about our age. They might be making $500 a week, maybe $600 a week, and then we have to submit a revenue report every month. So I'm pretty sure, my assumption is if they don't see it directly how much we make, then somebody else who does see it will talk to them about it, because they all sit in the office and converse. So that's one theory that we have, that they kind of have some type of issue with us for that. The other thing that we think is that they probably have an issue because they wanted to market the game in their emails, and we had asked them not to do that. They wanted to tell people they literally told people to come up with a scent guessing game. Like, they were like, yeah, you guys come up with some personal things you want to do. Here's an idea. Have people match the scent. I'm just like, really? I'm like, y'all put that in y'all email to all the people you have here selling candles, fragrances, whatever. I'm like, that's crazy that y'all would do that. So we had asked them not to do that. So we think that between those two things, and then also when they wanted us to move our date to a different date, and we said no, we can't do it because we don't have the money to do it. We think that also caused some resentment amongst them. Right. So we come in the fair, right, and Melissa got there before me. So when I got there, there was a person I talked to. I said hey to her. She seemed pretty cordial with it. There was another person they hired as a new community manager. She seemed more, I don't know how I would describe her. She seemed like, I don't know what the word would be to describe her. How would you describe Allie? That's the one that gave us the bag.
She seemed like a little, like she was trying to be empathetic.
Right, like she seemed like, oh God, hey, if you need anything from me, let me get help. Like
it was like I didn't think about this until now. I wonder if they thought we were gonna be like aggressive.
Right, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Like, I don't care,
Bruh, I think that the feeling that I got from them was that we were
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Right, like two black people are gonna come in here and cause a scene because of how they're acting. That's the vibe I got. Like, hey guys, if you want anything, just let me know. Okay, we're gonna try not to talk to them. And it's the she's not white, but that's the white way of handling things. Like, okay, we're gonna do you dirty, but we don't want to actually be there when the dirt is happening. We want somebody else to do the dirt that we know is wrong, but we can have somebody else implement it for us. Like, that's the kind of thing. And then they're scared because they know what they're doing is wrong, so they don't want to actually come in contact with you when they do the wrong thing. That's the vibe I got. Now, she didn't have the power to do anything, the person I'm talking about right now, but I think that's the atmosphere of the brand. So the person that did have the power to do that was there, and she did exactly what I'm saying right now. She didn't say a word to us. She was trying not to look at us. She just kind of walked. She wasn't even walking near us, to be honest with you. She didn't walk nowhere towards the back, nothing. And she's done that before, and it's always crazy when I see it. Well, funny enough, the other time she did it, it was when we had said we didn't want the game to be in all the marketing material.
I think once we said that, she stopped like interacting with us.
Right. She just kind of like, I remember she walked, there was nobody in the market except for us because we were leaving and we were packing up and there was no one else there. She walked right by our table and said absolutely nothing to us. Absolutely nothing. And I'm just like, damn, that's crazy. So then Friday or Thursday come and she said she's walking around, not acknowledging us, not talking to us. And I'm like, all right, she's being weird. So when we left, I made it a point to say like bye to her and whoever else was there. And you could tell like when someone doesn't expect you to do something and they get caught off guard or surprised by it, that's the vibe I got from her when I said bye. But it's like, listen, I think you did some fucked up shit. I think you're a fucked up person. But it is what it is. Like that, however you want to run your business, if that's how you want to run it, by all means. We know as a business that's doing it the right way and trying to build a great business that we would not treat people that do business with us that way, right? We wouldn't do that. So I'm like, all right, cool, it is what it is. We come in there, we packed up, we got all our stuff, we cleaned up the space, Melissa sweeped it up. Like you would not know we were there if you didn't see our stuff. Like there was no way, if you would have came in the next day, you'd be like, wait, was something here before? Like you wouldn't even know, right? So we leave, and in my mind, I am annoyed by it only because of how it went down. But that's my emotional feeling too. I can't control that part of how I'm gonna feel with it. I can only control how I respond and react to it. Because if I go to someone to eat at a restaurant, right? And the restaurant decides that they want to make terrible food, right? If that's how you want to run your business, that's how you want to run your business. I won't be here anymore. The food will be terrible. I would not like the food, but at the end of the day, that's how you choose to run your business. And my assumption, you're only going to do worse in your business. That's the only thing going to happen. Now, here's the crazy part about it. I believe that she has like a Nepo baby type of situation going on in terms of either how she was raised or her relation to people that actually run or own the business. Because she doesn't actually run it. She's like the, I guess, third in command, I guess you want to call it. So it appears that she doesn't have any personal attachment to the betterment or the growth of that business. She's like the manager. They put her in a managerial role and said, hey, you just do this and you worry about that. Like, that would be like trying to imagine you a real estate person. You in real estate, you own a bunch of properties and you hire a property manager, right? If they're getting paid, regardless of what happens to the properties, why would they do better? They're going to do the least amount of work they could do for the most part if people are built like that. And that's it. You're going to pay them. They're going to get their rent from you. They're going to interact with the tenants. They're going to be shitting on the tenants all day. They're going to be, oh, you broke ass bitch. Give me the money you owe me from last week. They're going to be, locking doors. But everything they could do within their power, they will do because it doesn't affect their job if they're nice to you or not. It doesn't matter for them. So, but people that are running a business, no, that's not how you want to operate your business. So Thursday came, we got everything out of there, we got in the Uber, we took all the stuff. It was like 5 crates high worth of stuff in there. We had the sign, we had 2 signs, like an advertising sign and then like the logo candle sign. We had chairs, we had a table, a 6-foot table, maybe 8-foot table we had in there. And packed it all up in the Uber and took it to the storage unit. Took that and put everything inside the unit. So I would say my feelings now about the whole situation, I'm pretty apathetic towards it in terms of like viscerally how I feel. When I think about it, I still think it's weird because it doesn't make sense how they went about it. That's literally my thought process. It just does not make sense that you don't have people like on a business level. People are not booking this spot, so you will not lose money by us paying you late. You don't lose money in that way. But us not being here, you 100% lose money. There's no doubt in my mind. You're not getting that money. That's it. And if the goal for them is to make us pay, then they want the money. That's the thing. That's my assumption. And that's if I think of how they should run a business. I don't know what their goal is for the business. I have no idea what their goal is, and if it conflicts with the person who's managing it is trying to do. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But it definitely is not congruent when you look at the actions that are being taken by the people that are in charge. It just doesn't make any sense. So like I said, we're done with Artists and Fleas. Chelsea and Williamsburg, they have not been as lucrative as we wanted them to be. Now, revenue wise, I guess we did okay, but when it comes to profit, when it comes to how much we got to keep, it's very low. So now we're on to our next step in the business, right? So we are heavily focusing on online, right? We're heavily going into the online space and trying to figure out what is the best avenue for us to take to move forward. So one thing I always want to do personally is I always want to like narrow down what we're doing, because from everybody I know that's successful, or in terms of, when I say know, I mean just know of, not know personally, they talk about focusing on like one thing, choosing one thing and going on that one thing, right? Now, because of how we're set up, that would be somewhat difficult. I think that within our power, we have the ability to do that. What I mean by that is, I remember before when we were doing Airbnb, we were doing Turo, we were doing wholesaling, we were doing candles, we were trying to flip a house, all more or less the same time. Like pretty much the same time we're doing all of that, right? While having a YouTube channel, while doing a podcast and posting videos, things like that. We were doing a lot of different things, right? Trying to figure out what sticks. So now that we've narrowed it down to candles, we have to go through the whole filter process again of like, okay, how do you want to sell the candles? Do you want to sell to businesses? Do we want to sell at craft fairs? Do you want to sell online? Do you want to, okay, if we're going to do craft fairs and online, how are we going to do it? Are we going to do one craft fair, multiple craft fairs? What kind of craft fairs? Every city, every state. What are we doing craft fair wise? It's like, okay, you want to sell online. Are we going to use Etsy? Are we going to use Instagram? Are we going to use Facebook? Are we going to use TikTok? Are we going to use Amazon Fair? Like, then once we figure out the place that we're going to use it on, it's like, okay, now what is the medium that we're going to use to market the candle? Are we going to do videos? Are we going to do lives? Are we going to do short form content? Are we going to do long form content? Are we going to do pictures? Are we going to do GIFs or whatever? Like, and it just keeps getting down. Like, it keeps coming up as what is the thing that we are going to focus on and just like laser in on that. Because every time I think that we have narrowed it down to a thing, it doesn't. It's more things to like remove and focus on, right? One thing that Alex has said in one of his interviews is that for him, he classifies focus as the amount of things that you say no to for the one thing, right? And I think that most people look at focus as this thing. Like, okay, I want to focus on this wall or this girl. I want to focus on getting money. I want to focus on Facebook or something. I don't know. People pinpoint that thing and focus on that. In his idea, focus is not even focusing on that pinpoint thing. It's just making sure nothing else gets in the way of that. So you're kind of focusing on what you're trying to keep everything else out instead of only focusing on this one thing, right? And that's just something we keep running into over and over and over again. So, and also the issue I feel like that happens is when you're running a business by yourself, you have to do so many things. So we have to make the candles. We have to respond to emails. We have to respond to different opportunities that come up. We have to worry about booking craft fairs. We have to take pictures of the candles. We have to do videos of the candles. We have, what else we have to do in the candle space? We have to come up with new products. We have to make sure that we're testing the products. Do things work? Are they doing what they're supposed to do? Is anything wrong? Do we need new labels? Do we need new wicks? Do we need new vessels? Are the vessels coming in? Like, but it's like if we're only focusing on one thing as a business owner, it makes it difficult because there are all these things to do. It's only two of us. So that's the conundrum of running a business, right? So I think that an idea that I always come up with is, or it comes to my mind, is do what level you're at. So whatever is required at the level that we are at is what we should be doing, right? So we just hired a marketing agency. So they will be focusing on Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, all the other stuff, and getting Google product shopping up and everything else. That's for them to focus on. So now that we have somebody to focus on that, I don't have to focus on that, right? So Melissa right now her thing is going to be focusing on Pinterest. So one thing that we have talked about, Melissa and I, is our differences in our personalities, right? We have a lot of differences, and I think we have a lot of similarities too, but I think our differences are they're so opposite of each other that they stand out even more. So one thing that Melissa will do is she will do a lot of different things. She'll look up like 10 different funding opportunities. She'll look at 10 different platforms to post on. She'll look at 10 different fairs to go to. And that's her thing. She'll spend her time like going from, okay, should I go to this fair, whatever, right? My thing is, I'm like, okay, I want to go as deep as possible into the thing. So what'll happen is Melissa will jump from thing to thing and not go deeply on the thing. I will go deeper in the thing, even if it becomes a detriment to whatever we're doing. So I'm like, okay, if we're going to do turnstile, right? I'm going to make it work. If the goal is to do turnstile, then we're going to do that and we're going to make it work no matter what happens, right? Melissa will go, well, it's not working anymore. Let's do something else. I don't like how it's going. Let's do it. Let's try something else over here, right? And they both have their pros and cons to it. So when it comes to Pinterest, I'm like, listen, for you, focus on just Pinterest, because she was kind of doing like TikTok, and I'm gonna get into a convo that I had with somebody this week about TikTok, and it just for Melissa, it was like, okay, pick a thing and then stick to that thing, because like I said earlier, we're trying to narrow everything down to what do we focus on, because I already know that anything we do can work as long as we just do the thing consistently, because we're gonna do it, we're gonna get better at it, we're gonna iterate, and we're gonna get to the next level of it and go, okay, this is what I learned last month. Now going forward, I'm gonna learn this. I'm gonna just compound those things until I get to a point where I'm successful at this platform. But it's gonna take time, and going from thing to thing is not conducive to compounding the things that are learned in that time period. So her thing right now will be Pinterest, only Pinterest, right? My thing, it's difficult for me because I want to focus on one thing, right? But I don't know. Maybe y'all could tell me. If y'all were in my position, what would you guys do? So right now, my focuses are the vlogs on the Candle channel, right? The podcast on this channel, Instagram, and I would probably say the website. And then I feel like those are my things, right? So I have this idea for short form content I think will really work. I've talked with y'all about it before in terms of the candles. I think that a way for us to get a lot of sales from the candles is to build the awareness through the formula that I've seen work on TikTok. The formula that I see work is you take a thing, like, let me see, you take an action, right? And then you add variables to that action. That's it. But you take one action and then you just multiply by different variables. So I'll give you some examples of that. Y'all know the car guy, David something another. He goes up to people in their car and he'll say, hey, I love your car. How much did you pay for it? And the guy will say, I paid $500,000 for it. He'll say, what do you do? Oh, I'm a crypto guru, right? The action is going up to people's cars and asking how much it costs and asking how much they make, right? Or what they do, excuse me. The variable is different cars and different people, right? So every person will have a different response than the last person. And because there are two different questions he's asking how much did the car cost, right? That's one variable. Then he's asking, what do you do for a living? It's a different variable. So now you have the variable is the car, the variable is the cost, and the variable is how much that person, or what that person does for a living. Those are three variables, and the one action is going to a car asking a question. Another example is, there's a guy I might have seen on TikTok. Have you seen this guy before? The running guy? He's always running.
Maybe.
So his action is running. He just runs. But the variable is what he's running in. So he'll be wearing a chicken suit this day. Then he'll be baking eggs another day. Then he'll be writing a dissertation the third day. Then he'll be juggling the fourth day. But the action is, I'm running, doing something crazy. I'm running as fast as I can, doing something crazy. Whatever. He'll run in clown shoes. He'll do all types of stuff that he'll run in, right? It does very well. Another person I've seen, they do it's the same formula. They do he goes fishing in lakes or like random rivers or something like that, right? He has this big magnet thing that he uses. He throws it in the water and tries to fish something out of the water with the magnet. What is the action? Fishing. What's the variable? Whatever I get out the water, right? It could be a bike today. It could be a coin the next day. It could be a pen. It could be an exclusive phone. It could be all types of things you get out of the thing, because you click on it because you're like, oh, I know what to expect when I see this person, but I don't know what to expect is going to come out of the water, right? So the last person I'll give y'all for this, and even, right, another person, you know Kobe, the African guy, I think he's African. He does the thing where he points at both his hands, you go like this, right? The action is him doing the double hand thing. The variable is whatever in the world is happening that he does that too. It could be somebody falling. He was doing it before the thing that very obvious. So like someone would say, oh my God, I can't, it's my favorite one that he would do. He would have, it would, I don't even know how to even explain it. He's pretty much calling out how crazy it is for somebody to record certain instances and acting like it's a real instance. So like someone's on the floor pretending to drown, right? And then someone's having a camera recording them, and then he'll show like, this is crazy, like you could just put the camera down and save the person, but you're recording them. So he does a lot of things like that where he just calls out very obvious things. But the point is, the formula is still the same. The formula is you have an action, and then you multiply the action by all the variables that can be attached to that action. So for us, the action would be asking people to smell the candle, right? Now the variables are the kind of candle it is, right? The kind of person we ask, what they say about the candle in terms of what it smells like. Then we can add in other candles, compare our candle to that candle, right? And it just, the variables go on and on and on, because the person will click on it knowing the person's gonna smell a candle. They already know that, but they don't know what their response will be. That's it. And that's, for me, what I have seen to be the most successful thing on TikTok, because you can do it multiple times for your channel, as opposed to having to come up with something completely unique every single time. Well, it is unique, but like having to do something very different every single time, because on TikTok they don't care about your feed in terms of what's on your personal profile. Nobody cares about that. So if somebody comes to your page though, they can scroll and see like, oh, I want to watch this, I want to watch that, I want to watch this, because they already know what they're gonna get. Okay. On YouTube, it's kind of different in a sense where you might post a vlog of you walking down the street. You might post a prank video. You might post get ready with me. You might post a cooking video. And it's like, that's cool. That's cool on YouTube. You can do that on YouTube. On TikTok, that's not going to fly. If I come to your page for cooking videos, that's how I found you. All I want to see is cooking videos. I want to see you humping the chicken. I want to see you massaging the beef sexually. That's all. I don't want to see nothing about your kids and your family unless they're cooking with you. I don't want to see none of that, right? So that's what I think will work for TikTok. Now, if I bring it back to what I was saying before, is focusing on one specific thing. I'm not sure if I should take that idea to TikTok and focus on that, or if I should do that same idea on YouTube Shorts. As I say it, it's better on TikTok, but I don't do TikTok. That's not. I gave you things I do earlier. I said I do Instagram, I do the website, and there was one other one I think I said I was doing. I forgot what it was. But honestly, it probably will be TikTok. And as much as I despise TikTok, it's something I will probably end up doing.
You can post on both platforms.
Right. But I'm thinking, if I had to learn a platform, so let's just say that I'm doing Instagram, right? If I learn what works on Instagram and I post it on TikTok, it will fail. The video will probably fail. Now, the reason why I would do TikTok, because I feel like if it does well on TikTok, it'll do well on Instagram. I don't think it goes the other way around. Do you agree with that?
If it does well on TikTok, it'll do well on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like the other way it doesn't work. I feel like if I make a fire video on Instagram and post on TikTok, it don't mean it's gonna be it's not gonna take off. Right. So like I said, so that's why I would probably focus, and Melissa, I could post on both. And I know what she's saying, but I'm talking to people who are out there in terms of I would focus on TikTok and then post that on Instagram, right? So that would be my Instagram content. And honestly, I think as I'm thinking as I'm doing this with y'all. So Instagram would that be our funnel? I guess maybe like the second part of the funnel. So I think I like that. I like that. Okay. So my top half of the funnel would be TikTok. Your top half of the funnel would be Pinterest. So we would be funneling them to Instagram or to the website. I feel like the Instagram, because I feel people buy from our Instagram. Mm-hmm. So then that would be the next part of the funnel. Then it would be taking them to the website.
Well, I don't know, because for Pinterest, it's just a different platform.
Mm-hmm.
So they may be ready to buy.
Mm.
So for me, I think I would have to funnel them to just based off of what the guy said. Mm-hmm. That works at Pinterest. I would probably have to funnel them straight to the product.
See, and that's the thing I was
make the product page better.
Right now, that's what I was saying to y'all earlier, where it's like every platform requires something different. So it's just like trying to figure like doing multiple platforms is crazy because they all put different weights on different things. So Melissa was watching this video yesterday. She learned in Pinterest, right? They were saying that views don't matter on Pinterest. They were saying that likes don't matter on Pinterest. They said, we want to see people save your pin. Everything else is irrelevant. If they save your pin, your website or your page is doing well, right? On TikTok, well, everybody kind of changed this now, but on TikTok, honestly, I don't even think views matter on TikTok. I think that's irrelevant. I think for TikTok, it's likes.
I don't know.
What do you think? Think something else?
I think it's shares.
Shares? Really?
I guess it depends on what the thing is too, but for lives, for sure, it's shares.
For lives? Huh, interesting. So, right. So I'm saying it's always trying to. I think that in the last couple of years, they all kind of went down the same path. So it's hard to distinguish. But before, YouTube used to be subscriber based. Grow your subscribers. Then it used to be likes on Instagram, right? How many likes can your video, your picture get, or whatever. And then I feel like it started going to views. But now I think the majority metric for these social media platforms in terms of Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok is watch time. It's somebody clicking and it's somebody watching. I think that to me is the most important metric for them because people are staying on your platform. One thing I found interesting that Melissa said, or not said, but had watched yesterday, is that Pinterest doesn't really care as much if you leave the platform. Yeah, they care. I think it's because they know like you found what you're looking for on this website. So if you go and buy because of this website, you're gonna come back here and buy. Like I also don't think Amazon is optimized for you to stay on the platform. Like I think that like we're trying to optimize you to buy something from this platform and come back and buy something again. But we don't need you on here all day. Like if you on here, if they had the usage time of a TikTok, that would not mean they're gonna get sales. Like it's because you're just scrolling on here all day. That would be how people are on Zillow, right? That's funny enough. That's Zillow. People with no money are on Zillow every day trying to look at houses they know they're never gonna be able to afford. They're looking at $14 million houses, $20 million houses in a different state, in a different country.
And my people.
Yes, you people. They are never gonna buy these houses, and that's Zillow doesn't optimize for you to be on the platform. They optimize for people who are gonna buy and getting them to buy. And I think that Amazon is the same, and I think that TikTok is opposite. So now on to my segue into my next situation. I had spoken with a guy recently. It's just crazy. He had emailed us from the podcast, I think maybe like earlier in the year, like in the end of last year. And he sells natural care products. And he was saying that he has done this TikTok strategy that has been making him ridiculous amounts of money. Like ridiculous. I was looking for something else. And I said, you know what? I'm going to hit him up. I'm going to hit this guy up. I'm going to see what he thinks. He has said, hey, if you have any questions, let me know, whatever. I said, you know what? I'm going to take you up on that offer. Mind you, this is like 8 months later. So I texted him. He responded in seconds. Like, all right, hey, it's cool. What's up? We could do I can call you like 1 p.m. I'm like, all right, great. We were on the phone for, I don't know, maybe an hour, 2 hours talking. And it was a great conversation that I had with him. He told me that this is crazy to me. He said he started doing TikTok, right? Started doing TikTok. And in the beginning of the year, he started it. Was not on TikTok before, not really posting anything like that. His natural care product does $50,000 a month on TikTok. So from just TikTok, the TikTok shop, his product does $50,000 per month. That is not including his website or anything else. It's just on TikTok. He's doing $50K a month. So I'm like, Lord have mercy. That is an obscene amount of money. And if we could match what we were doing at the fair on TikTok, I'd be great. If we were doing $3,000 a month right now from TikTok shop, I would be in heaven, because it would be less than a fair, but we get to keep $2,000 of it, if not more. Let me see. It was 3,000. 3,000 is kind of low, but 3,000 times 70%, we would keep $2,100, right? That we get to keep that money. So that means that at the end of the month, we will have $2,000 to allocate to whatever we have to pay for, and we will not have any ridiculously high expenses to pay for, because we're not paying for that fare, right? So, and that's if we're doing the low end. I mean, but you know what? That is. I've been here before. I remember what happened with Chelsea. They was like, "Oh, we're gonna make X amount of dollars," and then I say, "Oh, on the low end, we can make 500," and then we go there and make 2. So, if we could make some money from TikTok, that would be great, because then we could learn how it works and make more money. I'm not putting a number on. We just want to make some money from TikTok and iterate and build on that. So he was telling me his strategy that he uses to get sales on TikTok and what they do. And I'm like, all right, it's something I could do, I guess. I guess I could do that. I guess I could try to do that. I might just have to do TikTok live and just do like TikTok stuff.
I mean, I think they have a lot of TikTok, in my opinion, is probably the closest thing social media platform to Shopify.
In terms of what?
The back end, the analytics, the different.
Oh, really? I didn't know they had analytics like that for the shop.
It's very expensive. Honestly, I might pull it up real quick for you to see it. But the back end of the TikTok shop, it takes footage from your live that's the most views and cut it into clips for you to then post on the platform to invite more people to watch your live.
That's crazy.
It's they are doing everything that they can on the back end. So there's like a ton of things to take advantage of.
So here's the thing that I also want to start doing, and I'm trying to it's a lot of beliefs that I have and frameworks that I try to operate by, and one of them is working with companies that are good companies. And good doesn't mean big or anything. You can tell when a company is trying to be a good company. Like, we're trying to make this thing better. Like, I don't think that anybody looks at Instagram and goes, yeah, man, they are really trying to make Instagram better. No, I don't think people look at TikTok and go like, Melissa is raving about TikTok. The guy I talked to is raving about TikTok. People on a regular basis rave about TikTok, right? Yeah, you know what's so funny?
It's invasive, but it's like a really good.
Invasive?
It's invasive. Like that's people's main problem with TikTok is that they're stealing your information.
Bruh, so here's the funny thing. I remember early in the year, I'm like, yeah, they should ban TikTok. Well, I didn't really care. I thought it would be funny if they did. But I'm like, if I make $50K a month on TikTok, you better not ban that shit. You better not. I will be at the office like, sir, I have a petition. You should keep it. It's my good. What they call it when you have a good letter of recommendation, whatever. I'm gonna write that. Listen, I love TikTok. My name is DonivanGray from the Bronx. I grew up in there. I live in Queens now. You said what?
Just like, do not ban them.
Right. Please do not ban them. I have a family that I support with my money from TikTok. Right. Please don't do this. You are hurting the lives of small businesses. You know. But that's when I'm using it as a producer and not a consumer, right? So we're gonna see how that goes. What was I saying though about? Oh yes, working with good companies, right? I really want to just work with people that you can tell they're trying to make it better. Between Squarespace and Shopify, it could be me, but I don't hear nobody talk about Squarespace.
I don't, but everyone raves about Shopify. And Shopify, my only issue with Shopify is not cute. Just make it cute.
But do you mean it is cute?
It don't be cute.
You make it cute.
Sure, but I feel like like you said, I have to make it cute. Like Squarespace comes to me cute. Like it's cute from jump.
Right.
I have to make it
well, sure. Well then, yes, you do have to put some work in.
Right. So that's just my only thing with Shopify. But like you said, I think Shopify, the back end is amazing though. It's amazing. I've only heard good things about it. It integrates with everything. That is everything's go-to to integrate with. It integrate with the shipping company we use. It integrates it with YouTube. Like it would just be easier to use. And then they also give you. I want to see this so bad. Once you start really making sales, they give you a counter, and then you can see the sales going up on the counter automatically. Like I want that so bad. But yeah.
Listen, that put on our list. We're gonna switch to Shopify. So
Official?
Yeah. It has been done. It has been put into action. Who is their payment processor? I know they Squarespace uses Stripe. I feel like I don't know. They have their own processor. They probably do. The Shopify processor. So what was I gonna say? Yes. So that is what we're probably gonna do with that. We're gonna switch over to Shopify because, like I said, I should make a little book of all the things that I feel like I should operate by and just turn into something, right? You know, it'd be funny. I think that'd be like a funny book. Like if in the book it's in my handwriting and then it's also like scratched out. Like, okay, I think that I should live by this rule, and then like you go back and check and it's scratched out. And it's like, yep, that one no longer applies to me anymore. I don't do that one. So that's kind of where we are with the online sales. Yeah, like I said, I'm thinking about everything that we are experiencing. Another framework that has come up recently, guys, is y'all gonna love this one. Y'all gonna love this one. Is no more debt, right? Now that's the basis of it. That's the foundation. Now how it gets implemented, it might change it to very little amounts of debt. Or in my head earlier today, I was thinking like only have enough debt that I can pay off in cash at any given time. So if I have more debt than I have in cash, I shouldn't have more debt than I have in cash, right? So still playing with the idea. Here's how that idea came up. I was watching a Dave Ramsey interview with Alex Hormozy, and they were talking about debt and different things like that. One of the questions that he was actually interviewing Dave Ramsey. Alex had asked Dave, if you could go back to your 40-year-old self or 40 years ago, what is something that you would tell yourself then? And Dave said that he would go for singles and not go for home runs, right? And when I heard that, I'm like, okay, I've already kind of been leaning in that direction because I'm definitely a home run hitter. I'm going for home runs because I'm like, if I can stack enough home runs, I can get to where I want to get to faster, right? That's how my brain operates. So he said that whenever he thinks that someone is calling for a home run, it never turns to a home run. Whatever the deal is, it's never a home run deal. Whenever they think it is, like it just never, that call never comes. And Alex has lived his life somewhat the same way, where it's a lot of incremental iterations and singles and not doubles, triples, or whatever. And every once in a while you might get a double, maybe, but I think that when it comes to a home run, I think they're home runs for other people who are not there. So if you guys don't know Alex's story, he came from doing like gym turnarounds. He would fly out to your place. He would be able to sign up a bunch of people to get into your gym, and then he would get paid from that, right? That was his model. And when it stopped working because someone had took all the money from him, he was telling people like, listen guys, I am shutting this down. I'm not doing this anymore. That's not happening. And one guy has said, hey man, listen, you don't have to come out here, just pay me. Or no, he said, just send it to me and I'll pay. Tell me what you're doing and I'll do it myself. And Alex was like, I don't really want to do this, but fine, I'll give you the material, $6,000. The guy said done. And Alex was just shocked because he said that he thought of the highest number he could think of at the time was $6,000 for one transaction. And the person said, yeah, sure, I'll do that right now. And he was like, wait a minute. So he had to call a bunch of people that day to let them all know he was going to cancel the plan that they have going on. And each person, he told the same thing, like, hey, I'm shutting it down, whatever. And they were like, hey, can I buy it from you? And he was like, yeah, 8,000, then 10,000, then 12. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it even got up to like 30K or whatever. But that was what he did. Now, that's a home run, right? You would think that's a home run. If I said to Melissa right now, hey babe, I just got us $30,000, right? She would be like, wow, my God, that's amazing, right? If I told Melissa that I've been wholesaling for the last 6 years, I've been doing 1,000 a month, then 2,000 a month, then 3,000 a month, then 4,000 a month, then 5,000 a month, then I got to 25, and I'm talking about like in increments of 1,000, and then in 2 years, I'm like, hey babe, I just did 30K on one transaction. To her, it would not be a home run. She'd be like, yeah, you did 29K last month. So like, yeah, 30K to this month is not crazy. I'd be like, yeah, but to you guys, you would see it and go, whoa, oh my God, you did $30,000 on one transaction. That's insane. Oh my, that's crazy. I want to do that, right? And that's the problem that I have had within myself is I want to go for the home run. So what I do is I always try to punch up. I try to punch above my weight, right? Now, the problem with that is, and this is something else that came up in the Dave Ramsey interview, because I'm not ready or in a position to do those things, I take on risk, right? Now, risk can manifest itself in different ways in terms of, okay, I want to get this deal closed. I'm going to find a house outside of the state. I'm gonna look at a house online that I've never been to in a different state because there's a possibility I can make 30K or 40K in 2 months, right? Or 5 months, whatever the number was. That is part of the risk, right? That is just I don't know what I would call it, a real life risk. So now I don't know what the house really looks like. I've never been to the house, right? I can't get to the house easily if something happens to it. These are all the risk factors. Now, the other risk factor, which is even a bigger risk, is the price that it costs financially, the actual physical monetary price for it. If the house requires me to put up $40,000, I don't have $40,000 now. I didn't have it back then. So I would raise the money from friends and family to be able to buy the house, right? Whatever the closing costs would be and construction, everything else. Now I've taken on more risk because now not only do I have a house outside of the state that I booked out online that takes hard for me to get to, I'm hiring a guy to do it because I am trying not to pay even more money, which then incurs more risk because I'm working with somebody that doesn't have the experience or the experience of building that kind of house, right? And by experience, I mean what I needed, not that he didn't know what he was doing, just that I needed someone that would be 5 times as good as he was because I was so much lower on the level of understanding of what was happening. So if you're 2 levels above me, then you can, you know more than I do, but I need someone that's going to be like, listen, Donovan, you need to do all of this stuff because of this, and this, as opposed to, yeah, I could do that. I could build a house. Yeah, sure, I could do that. I could put up drywall. Yeah, I know how to do that. I could do it. Like, I don't need that. So what happens a lot of time is I take on that risk because I'm punching up. So Melissa and I were having this conversation in the car on the way back yesterday when we were coming back from the artisan fleas thing, right? And one thing I told her, which I might also said on the podcast, is the house was a test for me, right? The house was a test. And even, y'all may even vaguely remember this too. The $500,000 number was also a test. Do you remember that at all? I remember, I never told Melissa this as far as the house. Well, when it happened and I had the thought and tell her that I always have these peaks and valleys in my life, usually financially, right? I'm really good, then I'm all in at the bottom. Then I'm really good, then I'm all at the bottom. Then I'm really good, and I'm all at the bottom. Then I'm really good, and I'm all at the bottom. So I'm like, you know what? I think I know what the problem is. I think it's me trying to punch up. I don't know if that's what it is, but I have a feeling that it could be that. And I said, you know what? The house will be my indicator of whether or not that is the case. When we bought the house at the time, I think Melissa and I probably had combined, yeah, maybe $40K in debt. That's between both of us.
In debt?
Yeah. You think it was that high? Come like you had the school loan. No, that's like $20K.
That's not real debt.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm adding that in there.
Nah,
so she had a school debt that's like
20.
It's like $20K, but it's also like they're not asking for the money. Like it's just, what's that word for forbearance, right? It's just sitting there. They're not really pressing her for it or whatever. I maybe had a couple credit cards that might have been like, out of $8,000 credit limit on one card, I might have used like 3 or something like that. Like it was pretty, like it was low for the most part, right? That was before we bought the house. So we maxed out our credit cards, 401ks, everything that all the money that we had in our account, all the cash we had, we took that and put it into the house, right? As of today, now this number is a soft number. I'm not sure the exact number, but I would say in total, and when I say in total, I'm talking about every single person that we owe money to across the board, across the entire board. We're probably at like $200,000 in debt.
It's probably more than that. It's probably close to 3.
I don't think it's 3. I get 3. I get 3.
We owe this building like 50.
Right. I added them in there.
So we owe this building 50.
Okay. Hold on. Wait. 50 to the building.
There's 80.
For you gave me exact numbers. Can't do. Give me like
80 is like what we owed personal.
But nah, give me each person. I'm gonna add the person.
Each person.
Right.
I don't remember how much each person is owed.
Okay, so I know it's my mom and my sister's $2,750. So plus $27,500, right? Then Tori's another $27,500, $27,500. Then the fairy godmother is another 20, so plus 20. That's okay. And then is anybody else in there? Oh, my aunt, so plus 10, right? Okay. And then okay, it's another. So that's the house right there. That's everybody in the house.
Okay.
Right now we're at 135.
And then we also owe the actual house.
Oh, right. The actual loan on the house.
Right.
So yeah, okay.
Actual loan on the house. That's what I'm saying. Like,
so plus 167,500.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
We already got the building, right?
Sheesh. This building?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the car.
Sheesh. What's the number for that?
That's might be like 15.
Plus 15. Okay.
And that's before we get to like credit card debt. I think credit card wise, I may have 30.
Okay. Plus 30. Okay.
What else we got going on?
Shit looking kind of crazy.
There's Bill.
I didn't add that, but yeah. So plus, I'm put the total number. So 5,000.
Tim.
That's plus 3. 33, 15. So put plus 3,500 plus 35.
Trying to think. I think.
I already got, but yeah, keep. This is crazy. This number is crazy.
That's all I know off the top of my head.
All right, so I got some more. I got some other ones. So we got Kiva.
Right, there's Kiva.
So that's I'm gonna put 6 on. Wait. No, you already done. My turn. So plus 6 for Kiva. Mm-hmm. Then we got the one from Square was how much?
Lord, that's like.
It was like 8 or 10. So plus 8 for them.
But we already started paying.
We'll just put all the numbers together. So that's 8.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We have Kiva, Great Jamaica.
Right.
So that's put that right now. It's at 5.
Nah. Oh, sure.
Right. Then the other one was what? 15.
Right.
So plus 15. Okay.
We owe you line.
Okay, so plus 200.
Trying to think what else.
I mean, we owe Con Ed, which is I don't know what that number is, but okay, 2,000 plus 2,100 plus 2,100. Okay. The merchant cash advances, technically. So plus 30, right? And then if we really if we going down, like we really doing an audit, then it would be 10 to the contractor, right? That's another 10, right? That's okay. I'm missing something else. There's another one. Oh, my credit cards. So honestly, like I said, it depends how deep we really going. When you count your number, when you counting capital on tap.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so
I mean, yeah.
So okay, I had about 30K in credit cards total. So 30, okay, plus 20 because capital on tap is like 20. Okay. I think that's everything. I know I'm forgetting something else that's up there. That I borrowed money from my mom, nephew, any family members.
That's all I can think of right now. We get out the car. Okay.
Oh, I mean, again, if we're going like audit, we owe even more in the house because of the fees. So that's like another, probably like 30K.
Add it.
So put that on there too. So plus 30.
That's you added mad stuff I didn't even think of. So
Bruh.
That's now is waiting.
You wanna know what's really crazy about this number? He said, I think that's pretty much it. So guys, here we go. Here is the total overall number of debt that we are now in. And I mean, they're not really asking us for this, but it will also be artists and fleas. They want to say, oh, you owe us money for the next month. So in the beginning of the year, before we bought the house, we had owed maybe 20,000 between both of us. Okay. As of today, September 15th, Friday, September 15th. Damn, it's even more. At 1:04 p.m.
We're gonna get more debts.
I'm forgetting another one. I'm forgetting that they closed too much my Chase accounts because it owed money.
It's closed. You don't owe no money no more.
Nah, that's not how that works. You still owe the money, but they just not gonna. They might not pursue it, but you still owe the money. So like I said, I'm just naming all the things that we owe money to. But we are currently at.
Lord, I feel like I'm gonna change my guess. It has to be at least. I said 3, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's accurate now.
Okay. So we are at $498,800.
Yeah. Can't take on no more debt.
Yeah. So, man. So yes, $498,800. The thing I thought was funny was the goal for this year was $500K. So yes. So that is the amount of money that we owe across everything that we could think of. Now, give or take maybe 1,000 or three. Like either way, it's over 450, over 490. Like it's not like it's saving that much off. So right, that's where we at with loans.
Ooh. I mean, sure. Yeah.
What you gonna say?
We're not actually gonna pay all of that back.
I mean, listen, I'm just saying, you're right. We don't have to. There are loans that they're not asking for no more, that in terms of the law, we're not required to pay anymore, things like that. But
what we're liable to paying, like what we,
even then, I don't even know if that's true. I'm like I said, if you write off the loan, I mean, a credit card, I don't think we have to pay it no more. I think it's just so. But either way, that's where we're at. So like I said, if y'all want to really be sticklers about it,
is the title 400K in debt?
Bro, I thought about it. You could bring it down to, I don't know, 400 if you feel nice. If you're feeling like, oh man, what about the credit card? You have to pay off no more. Fine, we owe 400K in debt. Okay, whatever number, but it's close to that. So like I said, that's kind of where we are at now. Here's how I was, because like I said, it's going to be a good long podcast. The Dave Ramsey and Alex Hormozy podcast have brought up debt, and I think they both are debt free. I think Alex pays for everything in cash, and I think Dave might also do the same thing now, possibly. He brought up this point where he said that people don't calculate debt, or people don't calculate risk and loans in their industries the same way that people who do stocks do, like how they calculate it, right? So what he was saying is, and I want y'all to know, there's a very rudimentary understanding of what he said, but I got the basis of it. The intricacies of it work, I don't understand, because he gave a formula and I was staring at the screen so hard and I could not follow what formula he was saying, but I got the overall, context clues. He was saying that he was saying that people calculate interest and loans like this. They go, okay, I owe, I'm going to borrow $1,000 at 8% interest. No, I'm going to borrow $1,000 at 2% interest, right? On that $1,000, I'm going to make 8% interest. So that means that I subtracted 2% interest from that I owe from the 8 that I'm going to make. I'm left with 6% interest. And that's what my take home is, right? He said that most people in real estate and business that's how they calculate their returns. He said, off rip, no, these are my words, you not even account for taxes and insurance. So just off top, you're not getting 6%. Just off of the top, you're not getting 6. You're probably down to like 3, maybe even less than that, right? Honestly, if you it's 30% of whatever you make. So whatever that percentage, you're taking 30%. So I'm gonna say you take off another 2% of it, right? Then he said you're not accounting for the outside factors and risks that play into whatever decision you're trying to make. He said that whenever you have risk, you are always multiplying by 0. And over a long enough time horizon, if you keep if you multiply a number by 0, it's gonna be 0. And it's just how it goes, because you're multiplying by a negative number, you're gonna always end up back at negative. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but if you keep borrowing and borrowing, at some point you will have to multiply by 0 and you will have nothing. And that's, for me, is what I internalized when I said earlier about having the super highs and the super lows, because the risk, and this is what I always find interesting about risk, is that it's not financial. It's very amorphous, is where I've been trying to. But when I tell you this word, I have had the word in my head for like 7-8 years, and I could not think of the word. The word is amorphous. Okay, without a clearly defined shape or form, lacking a clear structure or focus, right? That's amorphous. And when you think of risk, I think people go, okay, the risk is the interest rate or the like whatever I'm paying the interest, I might lose the money, right? But there's the risk of, for me as a bike messenger, my bike getting stolen, my tire getting flat, Uber changing how much they pay, the weather, something, an event comes to the marathon in the city and I can't get to the orders in time. Like, these are all the risk factors that come into play when I sit down at my computer and I go, okay, if I work every single day this week, I'll make $200 a day, and then at the end of the week, I will have $1,400. That is the math that myself and I'm assuming most other people do, right? All the other factors that I named are not included into or not calculated into that math that I'm doing on the front end on my computer. So now if I said, okay, my goal is to make $200 per day for the entire week, every day, right? Off top, the first thing I should even be thinking about is, how long can you work every single day, all day long? Because that's the risk you got to account for. I might get tired and I want to go to work. So what number do I assign to that? And I'm not going to work. Because if I take off one day, just like that, I'm not getting the $200 number, right? So boom, there's that. Then I got to go, what's the weather like this week? If it's too sunny, I might not get no orders. I'm only get like 5 orders for the day, 6 orders for the day. Then I got to count for basketball. Like, I love to play basketball. So now I'm going to the park. I'm not going to work as much. I'm playing basketball. So then I got to think about, what if my bike gets stolen? I got to buy a lock for my bike. It might still get stolen. What if my battery break down? How many days am I out of work because my battery broke down? All these different factors come into play. Every single one of these factors come into play. And then, right, when I look at it from that perspective, $1,400 is not nearly enough money to account for all of those risk factors. Honestly, I would have to be something like $5,000. I would have to make $5,000 a week to account for all of these possible risk factors. And I didn't even include interest into that. And I didn't include if I get hurt riding my bike, because now I can't work for 3 or 4 months. And that's when the $5,000 a week comes in, because like it's accounting for the time period that I won't be able to work, whether it's raining, they change the price, I get hurt, my bike gets stolen. And if I'm making $5,000 a week, I'm like, you know what? I think I can survive all those things. I think if I made $20K this month off riding my bike, and for whatever reason my bike got stolen, I could survive for several months. I'll be fine. On $1,400 though, absolutely not. And it's when I think about it from that perspective, right? As I'm saying, I'm going through it with y'all as I'm talking. I have to think about what number right now do I feel like is that number. Do you have a number in your mind that you think?
That's what?
That if you were to account for all the risk factors that make you, even I'm trying to make it more personalized. If you were to account for all the things that make you feel uncomfortable in terms of, let's say, doing another craft fair, whatever, right? How much money would you have to make per month at where you are right now for you to feel like it can cover any expense that you have that might possibly come up, or any other expense, any possible issue? Whether it could be your period, whether it could be you're sick, whether it could be you don't want to go outside today, whether it be the inventory doesn't come in. What amount of money would you make every single month that you feel like will cover all of those things? Any risk, the casket, anything. We get evicted, anything.
$200K
a month? Okay. Right. Now, if we look at it through that lens, it's no surprise that we are in a scenario that we're in with Artists and Fleas, because they're not giving us $200K a month. So we're going to always have these problems because we're not making the amount of money that we actually need to make to be able to pay the real life expenses that are amorphous, that we can't really calculate. We can't put a number on certain things. So we have to go, okay, what number do we feel like will be right? We're like 200K. I agree. I think if we made 200K a month for 2 months, we would be pretty fine for the rest of the year. No matter if we got sick, no matter if the inventory didn't come in, we could fly to another country.
We could go to California ourselves
and pick up the stuff and drive it back. We could take a road trip, get a big ass bus, drive over there, drive back, and not worry about the cost of the bus. Not worry about if we're late. Have somebody else drive it. We could pay the premium, have it overnight delivered for another $3,000. And you know why? Because it doesn't matter if we make it $200K a month, right? So when we run into I remember I had a joke with my sister before, and I was like, how to tell how broke you are, right? And you can tell how broke you are by what negative action destroys your life, like mess up your life, right? So I remember joking with her, like, I'm so broke that if I get a flat tire on my bike, my whole life is fucked up. My whole life. The $30 tire or tube for the tire, my whole life is like in shambles. Like, now I can't work. I don't have money saved up to deal with this. Nothing, right? And I think if people are looking at it from that lens, you can kind of see where you're at on the spectrum of whether or not you are doing well, right? I think right now, for us to be something that messes up right now, it's like I say $2,000. I think $2,000 is where we're at. Where if something like that happened, we'd be in shambles.
Not a lot.
Right, it's not a lot. It's more than the tire from before, but it's definitely not a lot. So I think that's where we're at right now. So I bring it back to the whole idea of debt. So I really want to figure out how to like decrease debt and not have any more debt at all. And the framework I'm following right now is going for singles. It's changing how I approach the game and being excited for the small wins, because those will compound to bigger wins. Like I said, I think having trying to hit 500K this year and trying to flip the house were two indicators for me that punching high, it takes on more risk to do it, because you have to perfectly, I think this will be a good example of it. I think to punch higher than you are at, you need leverage. You have to have, because you literally can't reach it. You can't reach the goal that you have because it's too far away. The only way to get this for somebody else to pick you up to get there, whether it be you have employees, whether it be you borrow money, whether it be, I think there's other forms of leverage, I think. But those are the most important ones I'm thinking about, right? They have media and code, whatever. But whatever leverage you have, you're using that to get you from here to here, right? The higher you have to stand on this other person's building is the more risk that you haven't fallen off, right? If I'm on, right now I'm on 23rd floor, right? For me to get from here to the 24th floor is one floor for me. That's it. That is literally, honestly, I'll go to the roof. For me, from here to the roof is 3 floors to get to the roof, right? There is not a lot of issue for me to get from here all the way up there. I wouldn't even get tired getting up to the roof, right?
You can take the stairs.
I could walk. If I had to walk from the basement to the 25th floor, I would be exhausted, because it would require so much more work to get to the 25th floor. But if you looked out the window, right? Let's say you were standing outside looking at us, you would see me on the roof, and you would look at me and go, "Oh my God, Donovan climbed that entire building from the basement. That's amazing," right? I'm like, bro, I only went 3 floors. It wasn't really, it wasn't hard for me to get there. It's literally 3 floors above me. I walked up there. I didn't even sweat. I came back down and I'm good. Now you have the other Donovan. He in the basement. He jogging up the stairs. He only on the 11th floor. He has another 16 more floors to go to get up to the top floor, right? He gonna be sweating. He gonna be tired. He might stop. He might just lay on the floor, go to sleep. All of that, right? So for me now, it's like, okay, I have to operate and do well in the space that I'm in and not punch up, right? Punch where I'm at and beat the person in front of me here. Once I've learned the skill to beat this person, then I go to the next level. Then I fight whatever dragons or demons or whatever are there. Then I go to the next level. And to be honest, I don't know how true this is. I don't know if home runs, they probably feel good, the person hitting them. Yeah, I don't know. I was just gonna get into like real baseball analogies, but like the person that hits a lot of home runs has probably practiced so much. A home run for them is nothing. So to them, it's not really a home run. To them, it's like, if you throw it anywhere near where I can hit a home run, you fucked up. I'm hitting a home run. But if you ask me, DonivanGray, to hit a home run, I will be swinging for my life as hard as I can. I might throw on my shoulder. I might tear my ankle, my Achilles, try to hit this home run. I'm like, I don't have the strength to hit this home run. I never did this in my life. I don't know what it feels like to hit a home run. I don't know what it is. So I would be leveraging myself so much to hit that home run. So that's what I feel like I'm at right now. And that is my new goal to work on with myself. Like, okay, Donovan, just look at like get the small wins. Only get it don't matter about nothing else. Get a small win today and try and compound all the small wins and go from there. That's it. Because again, where we at 500K in debt, and we are not skyrocketing up. We're kind of like leveled, and honestly, depending on how you look at it, because we're not doing artists and fleas no more, our revenue will drop. So we're going like somewhat down a little bit, and then we'll have to come back up. But we gonna have to figure out that if we're going down right now, we have to then rebuild going up very differently. So that we're not coming back down here again. So like I said, that has been what we've been working on this week.
Hey everyone. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited, and I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm excited. This week, us being kicked out, I don't know. It doesn't feel. It's weird. It's weird. You can always find a positive, negative outlook on things if you want to. So I doubt there's ever going to be a time that we're going to come on here and be like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. We don't know what to do. There's nothing else and we're done. So everything's always going to be positive. And I feel good. I feel really good. I'm excited. Like Donovan said, I've been looking into Pinterest now. I know I've spoke about Pinterest before, and what changed my mindset, because I went from Pinterest to TikTok, right? I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to do the shorts. We're trying to do brand awareness. Y'all know what I be saying, brand awareness. So it's like, okay, where you get brand awareness on? You get it on TikTok, right? So then after talking to the guy and everything and listening to Donovan, he is right. Like, what works on TikTok to really like be like sustainable and have like a repeatable amount of growth would be to kind of do the same thing, have the same formula, and then just change one variable, which is like the person that you're talking to. And I think that's a valid way, and I think that's a good strategy to grow on TikTok. Another thing too is that when the person who we were talking to did a search for candles on TikTok, what kind of candles do you see? So if you look it up, you'll see the candles that look like food. You'll see the candles that have like a lot of dyes in it, or like they have like color changing flames and stuff like that. It's very much there's a visual aspect to it, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like there's a visual aspect to it, and it's kind of, I don't want to use gimmicky. That's not the proper word. I would say it's themed. I would definitely say it's themed. So I think that in order to be successful on that platform, that doesn't suit my skills the best. So I'm really good at like designing, or I like how to make things look good. And that visual aspect doesn't need to have a whole bunch of color. It doesn't need to be like themed in order to be picked up well or received well. So I think that I would do better on the Pinterest platform for that reason. And also the demographic on that is more suited to the people that we are trying to sell to. It's a bit of an older kind of demographic. They all have money. Because Pinterest is kind of like a planning app. So it's kind of like how you planning stuff with no money. You know what I'm saying? They're planning what their home decor is going to look like, what their outfits are going to look like. They're planning their skincare routine. They're planning their vacation trips, where they're going to go to and all that stuff. So I think that it's just a platform for me to stay consistent on. I want to give Pinterest that energy for myself. And the last time Donovan told me to stay consistent on something, we got the candles, because that's my problem. I'm not good at consistency. So I'm going to be focusing on Pinterest from now until the rest of the year. I will not be focusing on anything else at all. It's just going to be Pinterest. It's just going to be getting the pins out. What is required of me right now, I'm thinking of doing 5 pins a day because they want you to make new content. And the thing about Pinterest that I like too is that it doesn't have to be videos. Me making 5 images is way easier than me making 5 pictures, because I can use the same picture I can use the same picture, same image with a different font, different color, different design, and it would still be a new piece of content. So I'm very excited to kind of stretch myself with that. And I think there's a lot of tools on the there's a lot of tools that'll help you do well on Pinterest, like Tailwind. It'll help you come up with content to create. It'll help you post it on a schedule and stuff like that. And it's just, I feel like it's easier in that sense. So like, whether or not it's easier, I'm gonna have to stick to it until the end of the year. So there's that. But I am excited to move forward with it, and I am excited to see what comes from it, because at the beginning of the year, I don't even know if we really had a lot of traction on Pinterest. I don't know if we even had a Pinterest prior to this year. So right now we have almost 300 monthly viewers on Pinterest right now, and that's organically, and that's from the pins that I made earlier in the year when I was focusing on Pinterest. So like I said, I'm ready to give it my all, to really go deep into it and be consistent with it and figure that out. What else is going on? I made a pitch deck. We now have a business plan. Our financials isn't that crazy? We now have a pitch deck, business plan, and our financial documents are in order in terms of like our P&Ls, our balance sheets, like all of that stuff is now in order, for different reasons, for different things we were applying for, but now we have all that information. So going forward, I'm still going to look for new opportunities, still going to look for new things that we could take advantage of. And a lot of the times, if you're looking for venture capitalists or different things like that, angel investors that don't want any equity or don't want any or like no loans, it's just free money, they want to see your business plan, they want to see they want to see that information. So I'm very happy to have that. The next thing that I want to come up with is a line sheet so that we can kind of pitch that to different companies on the wholesale side, but that's further down the line. We're, like Donovan said, we're going to be switching over to Shopify. So that's a whole other thing in itself. So there's just a lot of things to be done. I feel very optimistic because I know that Donovan and I will come up with results. There hasn't been a thing that we've tried to do, started doing, that we haven't gotten results from, whether it's completing it, whether it's it's just, so that's why I'm so optimistic about it. I truly feel like if we do what we need to do, we will get to where we're trying to get to. So I'm still waiting to hear back to see if I'm officially moving forward as a finalist for the pitch competition. That's $30,000. I'm thinking about emailing them because as of right now, the competition would be in 2 weeks. And my pitch deck that I want to use for the competition, I still need to tweak. I need to go over I need to add more numerical facts in there. I want to tell them like where we started from in terms of our products from this year, because so far we started off with 8 products and I think we added about 24 to the lineup since the beginning of the year. Honestly, it's probably more than that because we added 2 additional sizes for the candles. We added 4 scents. We added room sprays, perfumes. There's different types. So like there's a lot of different products that we have now. And the margins on those products have also fluctuated in a very positive way. Like not fluctuated, has decreased. Decrease? Increase? What that mean? Which one? We have better margins than we did before. So way better margins. Our packaging is different. a lot of big differences, a lot of big changes. The amount that we've sold, there's a lot of positive things just on a data, just at looking at Ember Candle Co. on paper. Separate Donovan, separate Melissa, and what our debt brings to the table. The company itself is very, very healthy. So that puts me in an advantageous position because we are still a startup. We are still very young. We are still a very small business. But on the financial side of things, it is doing very, very well. Just very well in general, just period. Even when I was talking to the phone of the director, I was talking on the phone with the director of the program, and she was saying, like, I told her how much you made last year, how much you made this year, and how much you made our first year. And she was like, oh my gosh, like, that's amazing. Like, that's not common. Like, I don't hear this often. And I'm like, we know a lot of other businesses. Like, it's just, that's why I'm so confident, and that's why I'm so excited to take it to the next level, because I know you're going to love the product when you get it. I know you're going to love the service. I know you're going to love how it makes you feel. Like, we're just trying to elevate everything to the point where I visually see it, or Donovan visually sees it in our head. So I'm just really excited about that. I feel like I have a good chance of winning the $30,000 once that competition comes up. So, you know, fingers crossed I make it to the next round. We will be back here next week. You can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. You have DonivanGray, DONIVA. What? DONIV. Oh yeah, I was spelling it right. Huh? I'm trying to say it like you. You have DonivanGray, DonivanGray, and then you have me, Melissa Burnett, and you can follow me at AnetaBurn. So you already know what time it is. Bamboo Project #2023. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out.